All right, I want to welcome everybody to the Leadership Zoom today. I have lots of material, so I want to get going. There's a few different things I'm going to talk about. Mostly, it all falls under our aim to stay. All right, so I wanted to just show, this is a little off subject, but it has to do with the A part, the awaken part. When we do dream weaving, I listened to a thing by J.C. Dornick about digging just a little deeper. And so when we're asking questions, Ron, let me do this with you, okay? Pretend like you're a 300-pound guy, okay? So you're a potential client. I'm doing an interested call, and I say, all right, Ron. So what's your goal with all of this? What do you want to do?
I don't know. I feel pretty good about myself. You know, I'm okay.
All right. Well, I've already asked you all the health questions and stuff.
Yeah. I know I got some health issues, but you know,
yeah.
I'm a guy, so I think everything's okay.
All right. You don't think you need to lose anything?
You know, it wouldn't. You know, I could afford to lose a little bit of weight, maybe.
All right. Well, let's say you could lose any amount possible. How much would you want to lose?
Oh, well, maybe down to 30 pounds or so.
Okay, all right, that sounds fine. I want to dig just a little bit deeper though. Let's not focus on the weight. Let's focus on what that would do for you. What would that change? How would it change your life?
Say that again.
What are you doing? How would it change your life if you lost that? Like, would it make it easier for you to play with your grandkids?
Yeah, probably so.
When you take your grandkids on walks? What I want to do is I want to shift this for you, Ron. I want to shift it from losing the weight to actually just getting healthy.
Okay.
And so
I haven't really thought about health, so I'm just, I know I need to lose some weight.
Right. So, all right, we're not role playing anymore. Basically, what JC said is as we awaken our clients to the health part of it, it's going to awaken us, because what we need to remember is that our health journey is directly proportional to our business journey. And so as we are awakening our clients, hopefully it'll awaken us at the same time. And so we can continue on. Hence, we know that's why coaches have such an easier time keeping their weight off. But instead of focusing on the weight part, try to help them dig deeper and start focusing on the health part. And then we don't even have to do the 5-in-1, right? We do whatever fits their needs. We find out exactly what they need, and then that's what we give to them. All right, I want to shift. So the aim part, let's be done with that, and let's shift over to the stay part, the strategy, tactics, the actions, right? So when we're doing our own personal stay, we want to have a game plan. What we want to do is develop our own simple system. The company has their system that they use, so our system needs to be within that system. But basically, it's developing our own business plan. Like, what day are we going to do client support? What day are we going to use for follow-up? What day are we going to do this? Or what time during the day are we going to do this? We have so many things in our lives that take precedent that if we don't have a game plan, those other things are going to take over, right? And so it's really important. That's what we mean when we say being on purpose. And also, as far as the S and the T go, we want to reevaluate our business regularly. And when we reevaluate our business, we want to take note of what actions are actually producing. And we ought to probably write it down. I mean, really think, all right, I did this, and how many clients did I get out of it? Or how many coaches did I get out of it? I did this. How many did I get out of that? We can only improve what we measure, right? And so you've got to find what things are measurable and then start measuring them and evaluating them. And that gets into the duplication principle a little bit too, and the multiplier effect. The duplication principle is what? It's that our teams are going to do what we do, right? It's kind of like being a parent. If we tell our kids, do what I say, it's probably not going to happen, right? They're going to do what we do. And it's the same with our teams. So if we're on purpose, our teams are going to be on purpose. And then what's the multiplier effect? Does anybody know? No? That's when we multiply what we're doing. We can make it go big, and that's by building our teams. And hopefully that's what everybody on this call is about, is building our teams, right? And again, we want to measure what works. And one thing that I've learned because of the duplication principle is that you guys are only going to work as hard as I do. And I've kind of been slacking off the last couple of months. So Ron and I are going to up our efforts. And so as far as what we can measure how many coach presentations we do every week. And we haven't been doing that many lately. And so Ron and I are going to go to about 2 to 3 a week, which means we have to do at least 6, 7, maybe 8 invites. And that's just for the coach opportunity. That's the only way we can multiply. The only way we can multiply is by building our teams. And so you want to measure how many invites you do each week, how many presentations you do, and then how many people sign up. And remember, the invites are easy because all you're doing with the invite is just seeing if their window is open. You know, are you up for just learning about it? Are you up for exploring? That's it. It's actually the presentation that you give them the material, and then they can decide, is it a good fit? Is this something that would fill my needs? So when you're making the invitation, don't give the presentation. All you're doing is saying, hey, are you open to learning a little bit more about what I do? I think you'd be awesome. I'd like to see if it's a good fit for you. That's it. And then you set a date for the presentation. So unmute yourselves, you guys. I want to see what your ideas are as far as presentations go. How can you do the presentations? Not what you do, but what, like, I'll give you one. A 3-way call is a presentation. What are some other things we can do? Anyone? Bueller? Bueller? We had one Saturday. An event, right? We can invite people to events.
I still like the idea of setting up health presentations at businesses. Mm-hmm. So that gives us an opening. Who was I talking about yesterday that I'm drawing a blank now, but I had one yesterday that I thought would be a good place to go and just do a health presentation because I have a particular person in that business that I'd like to.
But that's
at the bank. Yeah.
That's more for clients, right? That's more for client acquisition. I'm talking about multiplying. And so we're doing specifically coach presentations. And like we've talked about every week for the last little while, we're getting most of our clients now from coach invites. And so it kind of seems to work both ways. Whereas if you do just a client, just an interested script, it takes a little while to get a coach out of that. Seems like it's a little jumpstart if you're going right to the coach presentation. Some other things you can do are just a one-on-one if you feel like you're ready for that. You can send them a webinar, but you want to make sure no matter what it is that you do the follow-up. And so set a time within 24 to 48 hours to do your follow-up. It's really all about the follow-up. And Ron and I, we've opened up our time slot. We've pretty much made it so you guys can do 3-way calls anytime you want. I was listening to a presentation by Greg Rex, and he has specific times on his calendar for 3-way calls, and he tells us coaches, set them up here. But there's 2 of us for one, and then also we know that everybody's time's a little wacky with work and stuff, and we're just home. So we can pretty much do them any time. So that's a good way to go as far as the presentation goes. And also in the business blueprint, it spells out exactly what you can say in the presentation. I've shortened it up a little bit. Like one thing that Dan has in there is talking about the right industry, the right time, the right compensation and stuff. I've kind of shortened all that. It was a little long. But you can figure out what kind of presentation you want to do too. All right, any questions on that? I want to go over, I made a mentor sheet that I wanted to show all of you guys. But first I want to see if you have any questions or anything to add to that. Yes? Should I go on? All right, I'll keep going. I'm going to do a screen share. This isn't something that you have to use. I don't even have to send it out. But I basically Amber and Chantel wanted me to kind of condense how Dr. Anderson taught us to mentor. So I kind of just condensed it on one sheet. So let me show that to you. Since all of you guys, everyone on here has coaches, I figured that we would go over this today. Okay, so when we're mentoring a client, and Ron and I can do this with you guys until you feel super comfortable with it. Technically, you're supposed to be, I think, integrated FIBC or something, but you guys you've been doing it as long as I have for the most part. And so maybe we can mentor one or two with you, but then I think you guys are good to go. So the first thing you want to do when you're mentoring is you want to ask them about the trilogy. Does someone want to mentor with me real quick on this? We can go through it. Raise your hand.
I'll do it.
Okay. Who is it? Who are you?
Lamira.
Oh, okay. All right, so Lamira and I are going to mentor. All right, Lamira, before we start, I want to know how you're doing with your physical health, with your mental health, with your financial health. And you don't have to get real personal on here either, Lamira.
That's okay. Overall, I'm doing okay. Like I've had little bumps in the road with the physical health, but I'm back on track, and then feeling good. And then mental health, I'm just still trying to work on some strategies to help me with my stress with my kids. And then financially doing better, learning to put some money away and save for our financial goals. So,
okay. You ready for your baby?
Yeah, almost. Gotta go get some more newborn clothes, but yeah.
I'll have a shower or something for you, get you some stuff.
I had a friend who asked, and I told her it had to be after the baby comes. So
okay. Oh, there was another question I was going to ask you. I can't think of what it is. Oh, I know. Have you taken the Trilogy questionnaire lately?
I did, because my mentor asked me to do that last week.
Okay. Yeah, maybe hold on to that for our real mentor session for next time.
Yeah.
All right, let's head to the aim to stay. How awake are you right now? How hungry are you as far as your business part goes?
Hungrier than I feel like I can be. I want it, but yeah, I have to be realistic that right now it's probably not going to be as much as I want it to be.
Right, I totally understand that. What do you think you can put into it right now? Like how much time are you think you're able to do realistically?
Right now, actually, I'm still, for the 3 days that I'm here, I'm still going to set aside my normal hours. Because keep that normal, and I'm going to be putting in, I'm basically working towards putting out invites and feelers for the Meltdown Challenge.
Okay, great. How many hours a day are you doing it right now?
Anywhere from 1 to 2.5.
Okay, and you have specific times during the day when you're doing it?
Uh-huh.
Okay, okay. And then is your stay is still to save some money, get everything paid off, your tactic to hit FIBC, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's still it for right now.
Yep.
Right. Let's figure out what your current reality is right now. What's your frontline volume?
It's about 3,300.
Okay, let's type it. That's right now or for the month? That's for
the month.
Okay. And senior coaches?
I'll probably have 2.
Okay, 2 senior coaches. And what's your goal for this month?
I want to hit 4,800. Executive director.
Okay. You want to make it realistic too. I know your baby's coming. You don't want to set goals so high that you can't reach them.
Yeah. So it's probably be closer to. I would love to hit 4,000 again if I could. Please get another client. Cool.
Great.
And then possibly one more senior coach, because there's one that really wants it. So, but she's the one who's going to mentor with you this month. So.
Okay. So 3 senior coaches. Great.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then we would go through the action steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you quickly just tell me a couple of action steps you're thinking about?
Okay, well, I have one that's I message at least 20 people a week about the Meltdown Challenge.
Great.
Another one is I'm going to ask a client when I get back, if she'd be willing to post her before and after, like what you did.
How is the messaging the 20 people going? Have you measured how many responses you're getting?
Yeah, I don't have my paper right here, but I think out of that, at least half of them have responded yes.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, what was the other one?
Talk to a client about when I get back if she'd be willing to post her before and after on her wall.
Okay, and then to message the likes and the comments and stuff.
And that'll be when I get back. And then I've got I do my newsletter. Those are the two main that I'm working on. Because I've sent out all my referral stuff for my Christmas for my clients.
Okay.
And yeah, that's about what I have time for this week. And then my setup, I have a few people I'm trying to follow up with that I keep leaving messages. So I have a couple follow-up calls.
Are you doing any coach invites?
You know, I have some with the pre-cert that I need to follow up with them on there.
What day are you going to do those?
I should do that I'll do that tomorrow.
All right, so normally I would be writing down all these action steps you want to have.
I have my top 10 list of potential coaches, but I'm not, like, it's something I know I don't have time for, so I have to be realistic.
All right, so we'll put that off. So normally we'd write all that down with the date, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go through each of their coaches and ask them where their coaches are with okay, so say this is which is Bonnie. So we would go through Bonnie. Where's Bonnie's FLV? Where's Bonnie? How many senior coaches does she have? How many group volumes does she have? What do we need to do to help her? Does that make sense, you guys? And so if we follow that pattern with mentorship, of course, spending more time, listening more, make sure that as you listen to them, you're getting rid of all the chatter in your own head and just listening and asking questions and letting them guide themselves. So we're not telling them what to do at any time. We're just asking them if you're gonna, you want to suggest something, you want to give them some advice, ask permission. So Lamyra, is it okay if I give you, can I give you some advice on something to do? You want to ask their permission to do it and then ask what they think. That's one thing that's been it's taken me a while to learn. But man, it's been great. I even have such a better relationship with my kids since I've learned some of these things. I love the personal development that this brings. And then that comes to just my last thing. I wanted to just remind you guys of what we have. We forget sometimes because we get so caught up in everything else, or sometimes things don't go like we want them to go. But I promise you guys, everybody on this call, it can be amazing. One thing that I think David Miller said once, he said that good is the enemy of great. And that's up to us, whether we're going to be good or whether we're going to be great. But especially in Take Shape for Life, we can do it. If you do the action steps, you're going to have the outcome. It just is what it is. Chantel talked about it in the event on Saturday, that she put how we do everything, our system. And she said, I've never known a coach that has followed this system that hasn't had success. And it's the same with me. And then it brings not only physical health, but it brings the mental health, it brings the financial health. I mean, we have something really, really great. So let's try to remember that, and then try to help others find the same thing, the duplication and multiplier effects. All right, guys, I'm opening up the last 5 minutes to talk about anything that you want to talk about. Any questions or any ideas, advice? You have permission to give us all advice. Anything you find that's working great for you this month. Oh, one thing I'm going to do, Ron and I are sending an email out to all of our clients, active and inactive, telling them that we are going to help them with a Christmas idea. And that is to give their spouse or a friend or a family member the gift of health. And then we're going to include a gift certificate for them to give to that person to get off food, or they can go ahead and buy the food for them. So we're kind of still tweaking it a little bit. Okay. I
have an observation, Wendy.
Yeah.
Something that I mentioned to you on Saturday is, I believe, and I've been told this too from our mentors and our leadership, that there's a direct correlation between the success of a coach and a team member, you know, and how much they're involved with trainings and activities and things like that. And I've seen that personally, and so I think that's just really important. We fall into the same category with everybody else. You know, when we look at a thing like yesterday's event with Jared and Amber, and we think, you know, Wendy and I, we've had a lot, not yesterday, but it was Saturday. Wendy and I had a lot of stuff to do to get prepared for that, or to be prepared for other stuff that we were doing. And we think, man, you know, I just don't really have the time to go do that 3-hour meeting. But I can see those that go to those things. I can see the success. It's just that little bit of effort that they're putting in, that and that they're getting something out of it. So that would be just an observation that I would everyone to look at it. If you can, anytime you get a chance to go to an event, then you go. The one thing about it that I'm noticing myself is that I'm wasting those events by just going by myself. You know, I haven't put forth the effort beforehand to get somebody to the opportunity portion, or get someone, you know, I haven't been doing that. And so
I've been doing that.
That's something that I think that for me, you know, I want to plan those ahead of time more, put them in my head more, that, hey, I've got something coming up in 3 weeks or whatever. And not only do I need to be there, but I want to make sure someone goes with me, that I bring somebody with me. And so I think that's a key to success is plugging into that stuff.
Plus, it's a good example for your coaches. You know, honestly, I didn't necessarily want to spend the money and go to the Kim Fisk event.
Right.
And to be honest with you guys, if anybody has to choose between that and Go Global comes first. Okay, just putting it out there. But Jill's flying up from California, and I thought, man, if she can make that sacrifice, I can make the sacrifice to at least show up. And but especially the company events and our team trainings and stuff, they're important to go. Just like any job, you treat this like a job, and it'll treat you like a job. I mean, you'll get paid, it'll work out well, you'll get trained. All right, anything else, guys? Advice, questions? How's the month going for everybody? Thumbs down. It's Christmas time. Christmas time is a thumbs up. Oh, she's sick. Yeah, strep throat. That sucks. I hate being sick. All right, I guess I'll go ahead and end the recording. I'll post that mentor sheet, and I think I'm going to send it to Amber and Chantel first and just kind of have them say yay or nay, and then we'll post it in all the Facebook groups. You guys are awesome. We have a great group. Let's keep plugging along. This could be a really, really great month, but it's up to us. So get your game plan, get your simple system in place, evaluate where you're at, and the stuff that you do this month is going to show up next month big time. So don't leave this month alone, okay? All right, guys. See you later.